A lot of people give up too easily, in my opinion. They'll have a therapist, and they go to the therapist, and the therapist does not work out. Well, therapy's stupid. Therapy doesn't work. They get a life coach or a mentor. Wow, this was expensive and did not get me very well. Like, I don't know why I wasted my money on this. This was dumb. This is stupid. Oh, I took these classes. I went to college. I got a college degree, and now I just have a bunch of debt, and I didn't even get a job in what I got my degree in. So college is obviously stupid for everybody. It's just a giant waste. Like, people give up on stuff. They'll be like, oh yeah, this girl, she was totally like just trying to get my money. She didn't want anything else. Women are all like that. Or, oh, this guy, he was super creepy, and he kept like staring at my butt, and he wouldn't stop, and I just felt so uncomfortable I had to leave. Men are terrible. Like, they give up really fast. They encounter one barrier or one situation, and instead of saying, that one therapist was not appropriate for me, but therapy as a whole still has potential, let me try a different one. Maybe this one coach was a scam artist and you felt like, wow, you got taken. That doesn't mean every life coach would be a scam artist. Let me try something else. This one woman tried to take advantage of me, but why was I so attracted to a woman who would treat me that way? Maybe not all women are like that. Maybe I need to think about how I grew up and how I grew up around women. This guy, he was being really skeevy and looking at my butt, and I had to leave. It was uncomfortable. I was worried he was gonna grab me or grope me or something. Not every man is that guy. There's a thing statistically that a lot of people are flat out giving up on relationships. Like right now, loneliness is becoming a crisis, and they're giving up on relationships because, you know, a lot of reasons. Like, there's so many reasons, but the reasons are all, none of them, a reason to give up on the idea of a relationship, period. And yet people are still doing that. People are flat out giving up on relationships, and then you end up with women who did not want to go their whole life without having a kid, and now they have to grieve because their window of opportunity is over. You go with men who get to their older age and they're like, man, what have I been doing with my life? I'm having a midlife crisis. And it's like they've been so avoidant of pain that they're dragging out and prolonging a different kind of pain. And you can avoid, say, rejection. You can avoid, say, like, feeling uncomfortable. You can avoid, oh my gosh, this feels like a waste of time. Oh, I feel so drained. You can avoid a lot of things, but it's not going to keep you from feeling loneliness or feeling dissatisfied or feeling like you didn't achieve anything or feeling like unfulfilled. And in reality, giving up too easily can be super detrimental. If it didn't work the first time, maybe don't do it exactly the same way or with exactly the same person. But don't give up on the entire process. Maybe you learned something and you didn't put it into action because the last time you attempted to put that into action, it didn't go that great. So you felt crappy about yourself and you don't want to feel crappy again. Do it a different way and try to treat yourself a little better. Failing at something one time does not make you a failure. Try again. Try again in a different way. Don't just give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on a group of people. Don't give up on an education or a job that you want to have or a life that you want to lead. Don't be so fast to just give up because it's hard or because it takes effort or because it takes multiple tries. Maybe you've tried like 3 times before you gave up. It wasn't just one time. And you're like, well, I did it more than once, but 3 times is still not that many. Like, there are some things, like, for instance, say you have a super abusive parent. and you try way too many times with them, at a certain point, giving up can be winning. At a certain point, saying, you know what? Stepping away and saying this toxic relationship should not be part of my life can be winning. And it can be painful to be ostracized from a parent. It can be painful to think, I'm never going to get an inheritance from them. It can be painful to think, I just wish my parent could have been proud of me. Could have taken some pride in me at all. I wish that so much. That can be painful. A grieving process, for sure. But if you had not tried, you wouldn't have known for sure that that's the path that you needed to take. Sometimes it's just a no-go, like with an abusive parent. Okay? Sometimes it is, but the majority of the time, it's not like that. The majority of the time, it's not so extreme. The majority of the time, trying again doesn't have such vastly powerful negative repercussions. And instead, it has a smaller emotional hit, and the emotional hit you can recover from. You can get resilient about. There's a lot of statistics about the rising trends in social anxiety, and it's been found from the studies so far that the best thing to help with social anxiety is to be exposed to social situations. You slowly gain evidence that it can be okay. And the more evidence there is that, hey, this can be okay, the more intimidation starts to drain from the social interactions. When your only evidence that you have so far is social interaction is negative, then yeah, it's gonna feel really terrible. It's gonna make you anxious because the only evidence you have so far makes you confident that this is gonna go bad. And having confidence that something can go good means having evidence that something can go good. And maybe you'll never be fully socially confident, which is understandable, especially if you started in the first place with negative social interactions. But being able to counterbalance some of that negativity with some positivity can help. And sadly, when you're building up the evidence pile, negative evidence builds more quickly. The bricks are like blocks. They're like cement blocks. And positive evidence is smaller. It's more like a house brick. So you've got, you know, your little brick for positive, and you've got your big block for negative. Negative reinforcement is more quick. They have done studies with rats where if they put, like, you know, cheese in front of them, they'll run to it, and how fast they will, and then put the same rat in a situation where it's running away from something it's scared of, it'll run twice as fast. Like, it'll go faster. It'll speed up. Negative stuff can really propel us, and sometimes it propels us in a negative direction. If you can get it to propel you in a good direction, awesome. But not everyone can do that. And not everyone can do that because they give up too soon. Sometimes you just don't have a capacity for that thing. Sometimes that's true, but that's the rare circumstance. The majority of the time, you gave up when you had an experience that was negative and you didn't encounter it again, you didn't try again, so then there was no positive experience to help counterbalance, to help make it less horrifying, to make it less bad. Having that evidence, having that experienced evidence is what helps build resilience. Having the confidence based on things that you know is what builds resilience. You have to try things more than once to give things a fair shot, to know for sure, I view this negatively, I view this not negatively. It could be that you went to a water park, and the first time you went to the water park, almost all the slides were closed because they were doing maintenance or something. And you're like, wow, water parks are horrible. I don't know why anyone pays for these things. This is terrible. This sucks. Water parks are stupid. Like, holy crap, what a ripoff. and all your friends are like the next time, hey, we're going to the water park, we're gonna have fun, let's hang out, and you're like, water parks are stupid, I don't want to go there, golly, it's bleh. Literally, if you had gone with them, you could have actually had a really good time. And the slides aren't closed because it's not maintenance day. And suddenly, you're hanging out, making memories, making friendship, having fun, and doing something that you might remember for years to come. You don't know. You're building bonds, and you're missing out on the positive aspects of the thing because one time, it wasn't great, so you just give up on it. Water parks, every water park sucks now. People do that with people. Oh, I met one, person from this group of people, and they sucked, so now all of them suck. I went on one date with someone who was this, so now all people like that, I would not date them. Constricting the possibilities that you could have in life, you're literally boxing in your capability of experiencing like happiness and pleasure, and isolating yourself from opportunities and possibilities to experience something pleasant. And I get that you're also trying to negate the risk of experiencing something negative. You're trying to lower your chances of experiencing having to feel that way again. But in so doing, you are keeping yourself from being able to have the opportunity to experience happiness, fulfillment, peace, contentment. You're chopping yourself off at the kneecaps so that you can't actually run. You're hobbling yourself. You're like those horses who haven't seen a farrier and have been living in a muddy paddock, and their hooves literally grow into curls. Go look at a YouTube video of a horse whose hooves are overgrown and see how they struggle to walk. And then the farrier cuts that down. And at first, they're terrified. At first, it's a negative experience. They have to actually tie the poor pony or horse. They have to tie it because it's so scared of being touched, because it's in pain all the time from its overgrown hooves. And then, after the farrier cuts that, and it realizes at first, walking is not as heavy. I don't have to lift my legs as high to be able to take steps. I don't have to struggle as hard to move. And then, when they realize that, suddenly they're running. They're running all around their whole yard. They are excited. They're happy. You can literally almost viscerally feel their joy. Anyone who thinks animals don't feel anything, go watch that. Go realize you could be running around with joy if you just don't give up so easily. Don't give up on yourself so easily. Don't give up on situations so easily. Don't give up on your dreams so easily. Don't give up on people so easily. Don't be so quick to shove everyone into a compartment and chop off that entire section of humanity.